Hi, everybody. This is Mrs. Pickens, Sally Pickens. I'm the ninth grade counselor at Auburn Junior High School. And for the next little bit, I'm going to talk with you about information that you, as eighth graders, need for getting ready to head to high school, which is ninth grade. And specifically, we're going to talk about courses that you need to select for the coming school year. Right now, if you'll just look at that, see on the screen, I've got my name, of course, and then I've got my email address there, and I welcome any of you to email me with questions you may have at the end of the podcast or any time now between now and the beginning of ninth grade next August. I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint, and we are basically going to progress through this PowerPoint. This is exactly the PowerPoint that I'm going over with students in their science classes in the next 2 weeks. So if you as a parent are watching and listening to this and are unable to attend in person, I'm hopeful that the information I present through this podcast will be sufficient for you to help your student make wise choices for ninth grade courses. And I'm going to click out of that. Sorry about that. I'm still learning how to do this. I call this PowerPoint Freshman Facts because eighth graders who are headed into ninth grade are our rising ninth graders, and when they become ninth graders, they are freshmen in high school. The two things I like to point out that make them high schoolers are the fact that every course they take and pass, they are awarded credit. Credit is earned by simply passing a course. So a student can earn a final grade of 60 for a course or a final grade of 99, and the credit is still the same. Credits are earned simply for passing the class. But something else that happens in ninth grade is the GPA. The grade point average starts counting. The grades start counting and figuring into the GPA. And so I always encourage students to never settle for a D. Certainly don't fail a class, but it's best if you don't even settle for a C, because GPA starts accumulating with your ninth grade grades. So credits and GPA are the big factors that I think make students true high schoolers in ninth grade. This slide just explains how you do figure your GPA: 4 points for every A in a class, 3B, 2C, D1, F0. I need to point out that I always have students toward the end of ninth grade who come to me and say, well, I didn't do so hot in my academics this year, but I'm going to work on my grades next year and do better as a 10th grader. And of course, that's awesome. Anytime a student decides to be very serious about their academics and work hard, that's wonderful. But I want students to understand that ninth grade is just as important as 10th and 11th. So students, I really encourage you to, when you walk into the door next August and you start ninth grade, you start with a clean slate and really take those grades seriously, because in a few short years you're going to be applying to college, and I want all of you to have options. And I don't want you to say in 3 years, oh, why didn't I focus more on my grades in ninth grade? So here's your wake-up call if you're not already there. I know that many of you as eighth graders are doing great, and you just keep that up. But GPA definitely begins counting in ninth grade, credits as well. Students must earn 26 credits to graduate from Auburn High School. Students earn 26 credits at the rate of 8 a year. So please keep in mind, if students take 8 every year, they can graduate with many more than 26, but 26 is the minimum. Some students, when they get to senior year, don't need but about 2 or 3 credits maybe, and so they fill in their schedule with some electives that they were not able to take earlier. There are some other options for senior year. We do have students who work part day and come to school part day, and those are, we even have some students who go and take a college class because they don't need to be at Auburn High School all day to earn credits. But those options will become available to you, and you will learn more about those. But main thing I want you to understand is that 26 credits is extremely doable in 4 years, and certainly most students will graduate with more than 26 credits. So 8 a year, 4 of our total 26 credits must come from English. 4 credits must come from math. Algebra taken in 8th grade is credit bearing because it is a high school course, but it is not one of the 4 math credits required for graduation. Students are awarded a math elective for 8th grade algebra. So please keep in mind that every 9th grader who walks into school on the first day in August and sits down in a math class begins working on their first math credit towards graduation. Here's one option for students who are right on grade level and are taking 8th grade math this year. They will sign up for Algebra 1A and 1B for 9th grade for 2 credits. They can take geometry in 10th grade, and then Algebra 2 with trig in 11th. And if they wanted to be done, they could be, because that would be the 4 credits they needed. But certainly you see they've got senior year, and I would advise moving on and taking another math course. Another option is that students may double up in 10th grade and take geometry first semester, Algebra 2 with trig second semester, and then move into 11th grade and take pre-calculus, and then maybe even an AP calculus class their senior year. You have lots of options, and on the web page, the Auburn Junior High School web page, right where this podcast is, there are handouts for you to click on, and you can see one of the handouts is all the math classes taught at Auburn High School, so you can certainly see that students will not run out of math options. Here's option number 2 for our students in 8th grade who are taking algebra this year. Once again, they're earning an elective credit for that algebra. Next year, most of them will take geometry A and B for 2 credits. Algebra 2 with trig could be taken in 10th, and then pre-calculus or another math class in 11th, and that would be the 4 needed for graduation. Once again, that's just showing you the minimum. There are more math classes students can take, and students can certainly double up on math, take 2 classes, 2 courses in 10th grade, even 2 in 11th if they so chose. Finally, here's one more option for our 8th grade algebra students. Those 8th grade algebra students who are hitting home runs in algebra this year and who are maintaining a 95 or higher average might want to look at taking geometry, all of geometry in 1 semester next year, and taking Algebra 2 in 2nd semester. And then that just goes on to show you other options to earn the 4 credits required for graduation. Okay, moving on from the math, what else do we have to take to graduate? 4 credits of social studies or history and 4 credits of science. And just one more time reiterating, every class students take beginning in 9th grade is credit bearing. So all of these 4x4 requirements for English, for math, for science, for social studies begin with that first day, that first class they sit down in 9th grade. Everyone must take 1 credit of PE or earn 1 credit of PE, and that can be taken any time 9th through 12th grade. If students are athletes and need to take PE every year, or just like PE and want to take it every year, that is certainly permissible. Credit is earned each time, and the grade goes toward the GPA each time. A half credit of health is required. Students may take that health class anytime, 9th through 12th grade. 1 credit of career preparedness is required. It used to be called Business Tech, but it's a new course that the state has created, and it's now required of every 9th grader. So when you go to, I'm going to tell you in just a few minutes how to register or how to select your 9th grade courses. And when you go to select 9th grade courses, you will notice that we've already added career preparedness to every student's course request because it is required by the state. What else do students have to take to graduate? 3 credits of career tech, arts education, or foreign language. Any combination of these 3 types of classes. Please note, if students choose to take a foreign language, that's great, but it is not required of students to graduate. They just must take 3, any combination of these types of classes. Foreign language, arts education, which is like band, choir, theater, studio art. Those are all arts education classes. And then career tech classes are quite extensive. There's an extensive list of those taught at the high school. That is just the big category for lots of different types of classes. And and students can take, one of each of these, or all 3 from foreign language, or all 3 from the arts, any combination. Finally, to equal our 26 required credits, 4.5 credits of free electives. And free electives simply means any course that a student wants to take that has not already been listed here in the core curriculum. And keep in mind that if your student is crazy about science and wants to take 7 credits of science, even though 4 are required, no problem. 4 of those will go toward the required science credits, and the other 3 can go down here in the free electives. So electives, again, means any class that's not already listed in the core curriculum. If your student wants to get sort of a little extra, an extra honor to go along with their high school diploma, we offer 3 types of endorsements: advanced academic, career tech, and advanced career tech. The advanced academic endorsements requires the following: 2 credits of a foreign language. So like I said before, students who want to graduate and not go for the advanced academic endorsement are not required to take foreign language in high school. But if your student wants to go for the advanced academic endorsement, certainly they will have to take 2 credits. And let me just stop here and say, foreign language does not have to be taken in 9th grade. It can be taken any year. In fact, at Auburn High School, students can knock out 2 credits of a foreign language in 1 year, taking, for instance, Spanish 1 first semester and taking Spanish 2 second semester. I only mention that I think we have great foreign language courses and teachers at Auburn Junior High School, but sometimes the rigor of a foreign language class is a little too overwhelming for students at this age. So I ask you to please think about the foreign language carefully before you request that course for your 9th grader. Students need to be self-starters. They need to be good students, because foreign language is, for all practical purposes, really another academic class in terms of the amount of study and time that's required. So back to the original, 2 credits of foreign language are required for the advanced academic endorsement, 1 math higher than Algebra 2, and then 4 sciences total, but 2 of them must come from these listed here. The Advanced Career Tech endorsement requires 1 math higher than Algebra 2, so a student in other words, a student must get through Algebra 2 and then take one additional higher math. Requires 2 science courses from these listed on the screen, and then 3 career technical courses. And the next endorsement, there's also just a plain career tech endorsement, and that would just require students to take 3 career tech classes. There's no additional math requirement or science requirement. All right, ninth grade credits. Here are the credits that students earn as ninth graders. 1 credit of English, whether they take grade level English or advanced English. And let me just say that this is a decision you will make. There is no prerequisite, for instance, for the advanced English 9, but if your student's doing well in 8th grade language arts, high B or an A, I think your student would be well suited to the advanced English. If you have questions as to where your child belongs, your student's language arts teacher is the best person to ask. World history, 1 credit. Biology, 1 credit. Math, 2 credits. Algebra 1A and 1B, or Geometry A and B, or Geometry and Algebra 2. And then 3 electives, keeping in mind that career prep has to be one of those electives. So really students are only choosing 2 electives for 9th grade. Very quickly, especially when students get to the high school, there are 3 different levels of classes. There are grade level, advanced placement, and international baccalaureate. Grade level classes are good and wonderful classes. English 10, U.S. History 11. They meet all the objectives for graduation. Certainly you can get into college as long as that GPA is good and high. And we have many students who go through Auburn High School and only take grade level courses, and that is certainly a fine choice for many. Just keeping in mind that regardless of what types of classes you take, grade point average must be at the forefront. AP classes are, for all practical purposes, college level classes in a high school setting. They're more challenging. You can pick and choose. You can take 1 AP class, or you can take all 13 or 14 that the high school offers if it fits into your schedule. Students receive 5 grade points for an AP class. At the end of every AP class, an AP exam is administered, and depending on what score is made on that AP exam, students can earn college credit for the class, meaning when they get to college, they already have that credit, won't have to take it. $90 per class. You can go to collegeboard.com and get more information about AP courses if you are interested. Keep in mind, students do not receive college credit, just by simply taking the AP class. They must score high enough on the AP exam in order to be awarded credit. The cool thing about this AP is, once again, I just want to say, is the fact that a student has choices. And if a student is strong in math and science and wants to do AP options there, but not in English and history, that's certainly fine. And students can make that choice every year. International Baccalaureate is the next option, IB. The IB program is the most rigorous path a student can take through Auburn High School, and basically that is because you don't pick and choose which advanced classes you take. There's a very set curriculum, and by the time students are juniors, all their classes are IB classes, and therefore advanced, and therefore quite rigorous. Students do receive 5 grade points for IB courses as well. There's a set curriculum and some very definite requirements. Students must take 5 credits of a foreign language. They have to do some creative action and service hours. They write an extended essay. What I would like to say to you all who are considering IB, first of all, I have a printout of all the requirements for IB that I'd be happy to email you if you'd like to email me, or a student can stop by my office and get it. The main thing students need to remember is if they're interested in IB and keeping their options open for IB, they definitely need to start a foreign language in 8th grade. Excuse me, definitely need to start in 9th grade. If they started in 8th grade, that's wonderful, but if they didn't, they still have time to get their 5 required foreign language credits as long as they start in 9th grade. IB exams are taken at the completion of the program, and students may earn college credit for that as well, and $800 for the total IB program. There will be a meeting at Auburn Junior High School next year, and we will certainly advertise it. And any parents and students who are interested in learning more about IB will be invited to that meeting and have lots of questions answered. College entrance information, just FYI, ACT or SAT, one of those tests is required. The perfect score for an ACT is a 36. Perfect score for the SAT is a 1600. Most students in our part of the country tend to take the ACT, and just so you know, all Auburn High School 11th graders take the ACT in April. That's a chance for students to take it free of charge without having to register or sign up. They take it during the school day, and if they're happy with their score, that might be the only time they have to take it. Certainly the ACT and SAT can be taken multiple times in order for students to raise score. This is just a list of the tests that are given in Auburn schools every year beginning in 8th grade. And I want you all, please, to be mindful of this year as your students are in 8th grade. We gave Explore in October, and we will give Aspire on the 29th and 30th of this month of April. And that is just a standardized test in reading and in math. I'm sure you recall the ARMT, or Alabama Reading and Math Test. Well, Aspire has replaced that. I'm showing these summer options to you all because they're part of my slide, but basically the only summer option open to your student as an 8th grader, rising 9th grader, is the summer PE. There are still slots available. The cost is $150, and if students are interested in taking summer PE, they may stop by my office at any time and pick up an application, which is on the bulletin board right outside my office door. And my office is 7118. That is in the 9th grade building. Okay, that is all of my PowerPoint, and now I'm going to pull up